Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know what time you'll be watching that video, but today we are in a different environment. I decided to use my boards, I decided to use my markers because our class will be a little different. As we are working with phrasal verbs, it's important to have a broader explanation. We have a wider explanation. That's why I'm going to focus much more on the board today, okay? Follow with me because we'll be using the book as we have already been using. The book is Unit 11B on pages 86 and 87. But also don't forget to use the vocabulary bank on page 163 and the grammar bank on pages 146 and 147. So with the pass of the class, you'll be pointing the exact moment to use each of those pages. Yeah? So let's start here. I have a question. Are you a morning person or an evening person? I confess that I am an evening person because in the morning it takes a little longer to get the energy, to get the gist to do the things. What about you? Morning or evening person? Pay attention to those questions here. What time do you wake up during the week? Do you get up immediately after you wake up? What do you first turn on after you wake up? So think about these questions because they'll be important for your next activity when you have the supporting text, the supporting reading activity. But changing that, what time do you wake up, get up, and turn on? Do you know what these are? They are what we call, that's very important, we call them phrasal verbs. Yeah, guys? What is a phrasal verb? What's the idea of a phrasal verb? First of all, you have to imagine that we have a verb, of course, and from the moment you connect this verb to a preposition, it may get different meanings. So you can have the verb look, for example. Look, everybody knows that look is when you see something, you look at something. But imagine I put another preposition, look for, look up, look down. Then it turns to another meaning. It changes the meaning. That's the idea of the phrasal verbs. Today, we'll be working with the phrasal verbs to understand their use, to understand their main uses, and also work a little with the grammar, how to put a phrasal verb in a sentence. What's the correct position for a phrasal verb? So let's get this. What time do you wake up during the week? I could say, I usually wake up at about 8 or 9 o'clock, especially during this time. Okay, we are able to wake up a little later. Do you get up immediately after you wake up? Probably not. Everybody takes a little longer to get up. So wake up is the moment you open your eyes after you were sleeping. Get up is when you leave your bed. That's a different situation. And the other question, what do you first turn on after you wake up? The first thing I turn on is my cell phone. The first thing some people turn on is the television. You may turn on the lights. So depending on the context, you have different answers to those questions. Okay? No problem so far? So far so good. Yes? Then you are going to get this book. In the platform, you have a reading activity. What will be the idea of this reading activity? Early bird. Are you an early bird? I'm not. Early bird is that kind of person that wakes up very early in the morning. You have here an example of Sarah Peach. She wakes up very, very early. She wakes up before 5 because she's a radio host. She presents a radio program. And when you do the activity, pay attention to the questions you have. using these questions connecting with the text. This will be very important for you to get the first idea of phrasal verbs. Yes, guys? No problems? So let's erase that because our topic now will be understand the main phrasal verbs we have and the use we may have for them. So I can have that. Pay attention. You can change that to page 163 because on page 163 you have the vocabulary with the phrasal verbs. Let's understand what each of those phrasal verbs means, okay? So let's get that. I'm going to tell you the example. With the example, I'm going to put on the board and then it's easier for you to get the idea, right? The first phrasal verb I have here is the phrasal verb be over. Do you know the meaning of the phrasal verb be over? If I say that the game will be over at about 5. What is the meaning of be over? The game will be over at about 5. Yeah, the game will finish because be over is the same as finish, okay? This is the first phrasal verb we have. Another one. I need to get up. Okay, get up. We talked about get up. So forget that. I need to give up. Pay attention, it's not get up, it's give up. I need to give up fast food. Yes, that's true. I need to give up fast food. So what is the idea here of give up? I need to stop eating. I need to stop. I need to quit. Quit is a verb that is a little more formal, but it has the same idea as stop doing something, as give up doing something. Yeah? And one more I have here. Don't throw away that letter. Okay? Don't throw away. What is throw away? When you get rid of something, it's something you don't use anymore, you put in the rubbish, you throw in the trash. So that's the idea of throw away. You get rid of. You discard. That's the meaning you could use for throw away. So here, the first 3 examples. Be over, give up, and throw away. Yeah? But we have more. These are not the only phrasal verbs we have. In your book, you have another one there. Turn down and turn up. That's kind of literal, isn't it? Turn down the volume, you reduce the volume. Turn up the volume, you increase the volume. And at the same time, you may have turn off and turn on. I'm going to turn off the lights, so you turn off. I'm going to turn on the lights. You turn on. So turn on, turn off, turn down, turn up. 4 phrasal verbs that are related to technology, that are related to switching or not on or off or up or down. Yes? So far, no problems. Another phrasal verb, remember earlier I told you about the verb look. Look indicates when you see something. But in your book, you have, he looked up the words in the dictionary. To look up something, it means to search for something. It's similar to find out, but find out is more about discovering, okay? Look for is search. Look up is also search, but look up when you have a list, when you have a dictionary, when you have a telephone list, these you look up. No problems? Just some water. And if I say to you, hey guys, could you fill out that form for me? What is the meaning of fill out? Fill out is to complete. You have a form, a piece of paper, and you are going to complete with your details. That is fill out. So these are the verbs that are important. And of course, I could stay here all day long talking to you about phrasal verbs. Just to give an example, I have a book here in my classroom with about 3,000 phrasal verbs. Can you imagine that? It's impossible to memorize all of them. It's impossible to know how to use all of them. Because every day people are inventing, people are making up, make up is another phrasal verb, new ideas. And it's a very informal way of speaking. So day by day, people create new phrasal verbs, okay? Be over, give up, and throw away are just some examples of phrasal verbs. No problems, guys? That's it. Something very, very important when you deal with phrasal verbs is the complement. We have three kinds of phrasal verbs. I'm going to put here three examples. We have the phrasal verb look out. Okay. You have the phrasal verb look for. And you have the phrasal verb look up. I told you, look is the verb only. And from the moment you put the preposition, it takes another meaning. Look out. Look out, I could say that is the same as be careful. Look out, the car's coming. So look at this example I put here. Look out, the car is coming. Okay? This is the phrasal verb, look out. Look for. Look for, I could say that it's the same as search. You know, look for. So I'm going to write here. I have to look for my notes. You have to look for your notes. So what do you have to do? You have to search your notes. Yeah? And the third example, we have look up. Don't get confused. Look up is also search. But what is the difference? You use look up when you search in a list. Could be a dictionary list, a telephone list. So I could write here, look up the words. Look up the words because you don't know the words. So you have to get the dictionary and look up the words. Why did I write these examples here? Because they have different ways of using. The first one, look out. I'm going just to get a new pen here because it's important to have a different color. Look out, be careful. Guys, do you need object when you say look out? I understand the context, look out. So it doesn't need object. Okay, no object. This is the first kind of phrasal verbs when they don't need object. The second example, look for. When you look for, of course, you look for something or you look for somebody. So it needs object. Okay, you have to use them with an object. What is the object here? My notes. When you look for something. But can you separate the phrasal verb? Can you separate the verb and the particle? No. No separable. Okay, so it takes an object, but it's no separable. And the third example, let me just separate here, and let me separate here, because the third example, what do you have? When you look up, you also need an object. So it's important to have an object. But then you have the difference. I'm going to write the same sentence in a different way. Look the words up. What you have here? You have the object between the verb and the particle. So this is separable. Object separable, object no separable, no object. Guys, these are the three ways of phrasal verbs, the three kinds of phrasal verbs we have. Then the important question. Teacher, how do I know if the phrasal verb is from the first type, the second type, or the third type? Sorry, knowing. This is something you have to know. This is something you have to understand and memorize. And after using all of them, you get used. It becomes automatic. But you need to understand. That's why in your book, you have, in a very interesting way, the phrasal verbs are separated by colors. The green colors are with no object. The red colors are with object that can be separated, and the third kind are with object that cannot be separated. So take a look at this page. This page is really important. Once again, page 163. This is the exercise you have to do at home carefully with all the pictures and then complete better all of them. Okay, guys? No problem so far? So this is the first part of our class, where the most important was to understand some phrasal verbs and to understand the three kinds of phrasal verbs. Because in the exercises you have there in the supporting activities, there will be separating or not separating, putting one particle or another particle. Depends on the meaning, depends on the context. Okay, guys? We are going to continue the class a little later with some different ideas than the grammar, how to understand the grammar about phrasal verbs. See you soon, guys. I hope you understand that. And if you have any question, talk to me soon. I'll be back soon.